Okay, hi guys, my name's Katie Coleman. I'm going to tell you guys about a kind of scary day that I went through. I guess it wasn't so much scary as it was kind of just like what's going on situation. But anyway, so about a couple years ago, summer before my senior year of high school, I went on a missions trip to Ukraine. And I went through a church organization. We were there for about 3.5 weeks. And we were just working alongside other churches, kind of just doing community projects throughout, like with whatever was needed. And we were also teaching English while we were there. So about half the time was teaching English, and then about like the other half was just doing whatever was needed. So to get there, it was kind of like intense, the travel. It took 2 planes, 2 buses, and an overnight train to get there. So we're just like completely exhausted by the time we get there. And there's also a 10-hour time difference between here and Ukraine. So we get to the place, the church where we're staying, and we're kind of just given like time to do whatever we want. We get there at about 10 or 11 Ukrainian time. So we kind of had the whole day to just roam around, do whatever. So my friend Haley and I decided, like, we want to use the time to our advantage. We want to go explore. We have this time, like, we're in this amazing place. Like, let's use it to our advantage. So we talked to a couple of the Ukrainian hosts and just asked them, like, hey, what's some cool stuff to do around here? And they tell us there's like a short little bus ride to the main city. It's like 4 stops, and we'll know which stop it is because right to like the left there's this huge fountain like right in the center of the courtyard. So you can't like really miss it. So we're like, all right, we got this. Like we can count to 4. Like we know what a big fountain looks like. We can figure it out. So and keep in mind that even though we went to teach English, we didn't really know any Ukrainian or Russian or anything. So we're just like complete foreigners. But we decided to just go for it, and we get on the bus. The first hurdle comes along in trying to buy our ticket. We didn't really know like what to do, but we figured it out super easy. The lady behind me like tapped me on the shoulder and passed me money forward, and I was kind of like, what's going on? Like, what do I do with this? And then she kind of like taps me again and points forward even more. So I pass the money forward, and the next thing I know, like a ticket gets passed back to me. And so like pass it back to her. So we just do the same thing. Like we pass our money forward, and tickets get passed back to us. And we're like, okay, like we got that done. We have our tickets. We're good to go. Like what else could go the second stop comes along, and this lady gets on the bus, and I didn't want to be like prejudgmental, or I wasn't trying to judge her in any way. Like I was just observing her, and she kind of had like matted hair, and her clothes were a little bit dirty, and she was carrying like a lot of stuff with her. And I thought maybe she was homeless, but I didn't want to like think anything. She wasn't really like talking to us, didn't look at us or anything, so it was no big deal. She sits like a couple rows behind us, and we're like, all right, fine, like, you know, like just not thinking about anything. So we're riding along, and I'm like holding my ticket in my hand, like all excited for like the day. And next thing I know, the lady comes up to me, and she's like, starts talking to me in Ukrainian, and I was like, oh, sorry, like I speak English, like I don't know what you're saying. And usually when that happens, the person just kind of walks away. They're like, oh, you know, sorry, like no big deal. Well, she keeps talking to me, and I'm kind of just like sitting there like, what do I say? I wasn't really expecting her to continue talking. And I like look at my friend Haley, who's sitting right next to me on the bus, and I was like, we're kind of just like, oh, I don't know what to do. We're just like staring at her. And then she starts kind of getting angry, and she's like yelling at me, like kind of in my face. And I was like, oh, like I don't know what to do. I'm like holding my ticket, and the next thing I know, she like grabs my ticket out of my hand, and she's like totally like yelling in my face. And my friend Haley like luckily kind of stood up for me and grabbed my ticket, and like the ticket did this perfect little like rip in half. Like Haley had half the ticket, and the lady had the other half, and that totally like set the lady off. The lady was like not having it. She was crazy. She like got all up in my friend's face, and she was like grabbing her by the arms and like yelling at my friend Haley. And I was just kind of like sitting there like, oh, I don't know what to do. And she kind of smelled really bad. And I was just like just so out of my element and just completely caught off guard. So next thing I try to do is like grab this lady and push her off my friend. And luckily the 3rd bus stop was coming along. And a lady behind us just grabs the lady and like shoves her off the bus and pushes her off the bus. And the bus kind of like continues along, and I can like vividly remember like looking back at the lady who was like pissed off and like not on the bus anymore, and she's just like yelling, like going crazy, and like probably cussing us out and flipping us off, and however you flip people off in Ukrainian. And we're just kind of like, bye, like see you later. And that was kind of just like the end of that, and the day went on, and that was like my introduction to Ukraine. And yeah, that's my strange day.